Good morning, everybody. It's Tracy, and this is take two of an episode of What Has Changed Your Life. So, the other day on Sunday, we were trying to chat with Nita here, who is an author, and she is also a motivational speaker about grief and grief in the moment and grief beyond. Unfortunately, our internet connection was not happening, so we found a new internet connection, and we here live. Yay! So welcome,
Yay!
Nita, again to What Has Changed Your Life.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here again. I like that we have a good connection. I can hear you, so this is great.
Yay!
Yeah, yay!
I know. The other day it was nothing.
Technology's great until it isn't. Yeah.
Yes. So Nita has very personal, in-depth experience. Unfortunately, in our lives, we all go through times where we have to grieve a loved one, a loss of some kind, whether it's a person, a fur baby, whether it's a job, or anything like that. And Nita, tell us again your story about your loss.
Okay, well, my loss was the death of my husband and the changing lifestyle. Well, he had retired. We were raising pigs. We were happy. He had retired. And then he died, and I couldn't raise the pigs, and I had to find a different way to live, and I had to find a different way to live without my husband. So it was a really big change.
Now, what did your husband have? Was it a sudden death, or was it something that was you knew was kind of coming, but it's obviously it still doesn't make it easier? What did he have?
That's interesting. We knew, we just didn't know for very long. He had always had heart issues, and we were sort of prepared, if you can prepare for a death in a way, for him to have a heart attack, and he did not. He was diagnosed with a form of cancer that has a name about 600 letters long in April, and he was gone in September. So that was,
That's not a lot of time.
it was not. And my daughter said, "You were supposed to call and tell me he had a heart attack." And I was like, what difference would it make? He would still be
No.
gone, babe. But she didn't like that he had been sick for 4 months. And I kind of side with her on that. I was not happy about him being sick for 4 months either, but it was
No.
what it was.
It's hard when somebody has cancer to watch that decline. I
It is,
know.
and his was, to me, was very difficult because it was so sudden, and then it didn't have a name. I mean, it did, like I said, 16 letters long. But most people, when I say cancer, they go, "Oh, stomach cancer, bladder cancer, prostate." It's like, no, no, it was just an all inclusive. Let's just call it cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard for them too, as the individual going through the cancer. It's hard for them to have to come to terms with leaving this place
Oh
and
yeah,
what's beyond,
yeah,
right?
but yeah, and stopping not doing the things that he enjoyed doing. He was an outdoors guy, and the last 6 to 8 weeks, he couldn't go outside and do things, and that really bothered him a lot.
Right.
That he couldn't go out and take care of his animals, and he couldn't go outside and do things, and that was where he was. He's like, "I've got to get better so I can go outside."
Right.
That was my plan too, but God didn't ask us our plans.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way life has a way of throwing curveballs at you.
Yeah.
Yes. Here, take this curveball, go with it, and let's see what happens.
Here's his curveball, and here I'll throw you another one from the other side, and let's just see what you can do with both of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happens. You can never expect, always expect the unexpected, because you never know what's going to come around the corner.
Very, very true. No wiser words have been said. It's very true. Expect the unexpected. So after your husband passes, obviously at that point, everybody is around you, everybody's with you, supporting you. That tends to be what happens. But then there also comes a point where everyone kind of goes back to their own life,
They
isn't
go
there?
home. Yes, they all go home. Um, our situation was a little bit weird. We had just bought a house
Hmm.
4 weeks before he died, and we were in the process of moving, of getting the house ready to be moved into and moving. So my kids helped me, and friends helped me do that, and that took a lot of the. I didn't have to think about anything. It's like, okay, I've got to pack, I've got to move, and
Right.
then once that was all done, and I was in the house, everybody was still coming around or calling and checking until after the first year. And after the first year, it's like they forgot. They were like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, and her Valentine isn't there. But they didn't think about it anymore because everybody has their own life, and so they had gone on to living their life. And yeah, for me, the second, and a lot of widows say the second year is the hardest. Some people say it's not. It just depends on your situation and where you are.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
at some point, everybody goes back to living their life because that's how life is designed. That we live our own lives. So I had to
Yeah.
live my new life.
And I think that's when the real kind of loneliness and sadness sets in, because in a way, after everybody leaves, I know I found this with when my mom passed, that there comes a point where you're almost afraid to talk about them, right? So I know for myself
For
that's
most
when.
people, it is. I was a little
Yeah.
bit weird. I was a little bit weird in that I had experienced a significant loss early in my life, like when I was 19. And I had learned then that I'm going to talk about the person. And
Yeah.
so I would warn everybody. It's like, I'm going to talk about him. If you don't want to hear
Yeah.
about him, don't come around because I'm going to talk about him.
Yeah.
So, and I still do. And sometimes I will say something like, well, my husband used to say, and they'll say, how long has your husband been gone? Oh, 14 years, but he's still in my heart. So I hate to tell you,
Yes.
it doesn't, I didn't have, but a lot of people do. A lot of people they're afraid to talk about their loved one, or
Yeah.
if it was something else, if they lost their job, they don't want to talk. It's almost like tempting the fates. If you lost your job and you found a new job, or you've created a new job, you don't want
Yeah.
to talk about when you didn't have a job, because like, no, 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 I'm good. Let's not go down that road again. So
Yeah.
yeah, there is that for a lot of people.
Yeah. And also too, I mean, I think that people are also worried about speaking about the person with them, because they're worried that they're going to bring up all these emotions and things
Exactly.
and make that person upset. But personally, I would rather talk about those people that have gone and say, and so I would like to talk about, some things my mom would say or stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And people don't really, want to go there,
They
right?
don't
And
want to
I'm
go there.
like,
Yeah, they don't want to remind you of what
you're
happened, as
lost.
though you forgot. It's like, oh, she does not remember that her husband died, so we won't mention him, and then she won't. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't really work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way at all. It doesn't work that way at all. So, how do you have any advice for people? Because one of the things also that I know people do a lot of is they don't process their grief right away. They do what I call stuffing. So they take the loss and the
Mhm.
grief and they go like this. We're just gonna stuff it way down here, and we're not gonna deal with it, because if we deal with it, then it becomes very real.
Yeah,
And what is your advice for people
I kind of
who
tried
are
that.
very good at that?
Yeah, I kind of tried that too. Don't, don't. Let your feelings. And I said that in the book at the very beginning of my book, Beyond the Grief. It's like, if you need to cry, cry. If
Cry.
you don't want to cry in front of people, fine. Go find a bathroom, find a corner, but don't stuff the tears back, because
Yeah.
you need to cry if you're trying to cry. On the other hand, if you don't want to cry, don't force it. Just let your body do what your body wants to do, and just go with it. When my brother died, my he was taking antidepressants anyway, and my he wouldn't take one the day of the funeral. He refused, and my mom tried to get him to take one, and he said, my son is dead, and I don't want to wake up tomorrow and have to learn all over again that my son is dead. I want to deal with it now. And so if you stuff it down, it'd be like my dad taking the antidepressant. You're going to wake up tomorrow and have to deal with it again.
Right.
You know,
Right.
may as well just pull the Band-Aid off and deal with it now, because
Right.
it gets worse. It gets worse if you don't.
It does. And sometimes it manifests itself in different ways if you don't deal with the grief and loss at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
or at all. Because some people just don't deal with it at all. And then they end up getting, sick and
They get
stressed, and
sick
all
and
these other things start happening.
And the other thing is, people around you need you,
Yeah.
and you can't be there for them if you're not there for you.
Right.
So
Right.
if you want to, like, I'm of an age that I have grandchildren, and some people my age have great grandchildren that they take care of. But you
Yeah.
can't take care of those grandchildren and great grandchildren if you aren't able to take care of yourself and you aren't
Right.
helping them any. So yeah,
Yes.
you have to take care of you first, and
Right.
you have to deal with it. It's easier to deal with it sooner rather than later.
And sometimes we need assistance. Sometimes we aren't able to deal with and process with the grief ourselves. So that's when we can reach out to, psychiatry, social work. Some people use life coaches, spiritual
Right.
coaches, whatever kind of floats your boat and works for you to be able to process through all that grief and that sadness.
It does. Sometimes you need. I think everybody could benefit from something, either a therapist or, like you say, a life coach. There's a coach, a grief program, kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's grief.
Yeah.
The and if you can't do those, for me, those weren't available except for at night, and I didn't want to drive at night. But now you can do it online. You can access people
Yes.
online that can help you.
Yes.
So find somebody that you can talk to about whatever it is that is that you've lost, that's gone from your life, that whether
Right.
it's a job or a loved one or a fur. I mean, if it's an animal that you've had for 10 years, that's going to hurt. So,
Yeah.
people that don't have fur babies are like, what? It's just a dog. you know, don't talk to those people. Find the
Yeah.
people that understand that
What
talk
you're going
support
through.
to you. Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing you
Yes.
can do is don't do, I don't know, but don't isolate yourself, and
Right.
join a group, be involved with people in some way.
Right.
So, yeah, I think those would be just to get the support you need and to get involved with. And sometimes the people you get involved with can support you without even knowing they're supporting you.
Right. Right. Yeah, and get it out there and get it out from in here out there,
Hmm.
and know that you're not alone in that journey with your grief. Um,
Exactly. You are not
yeah,
alone.
and you're absolutely right. I mean, we had to put our dog down in
Oh,
August,
I'm sorry.
and yeah, he was 16 years old almost. He would have been 16 in October. He lived a great life, and I don't have any regrets about how we did things and whatever, but he was my baby.
Right.
I liked him sometimes better than the people I live with.
Well, he was nicer sometimes than the people you lived with.
But when he left, I was left with this hole because he had been my buddy. He had been with me through everything, through my cancer journey. He had been there, we had been together his whole life. Like he was my shadow. And it was funny. My husband said in September on our long weekend, he said, "Okay, we need to go and we need to bury Duke now." And I was like, no, we're not, because he was cremated and we
Yeah.
have him. And
Yeah.
I said, nope, we're not. And my husband's like, no, we need to bury him because that's what my husband does. We need to do, right?
Right.
And I said, no, we're not burying him. I'm not ready to let him go. So here he sits in my kitchen,
Hmm.
and every day I go by and I pat the top of the box. And some people are like, ooh, but I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the way I deal with his loss. And at some point, I'll get to that point where I want to be able to put him and bury him.
Or
But
not.
for me, I'm just not there yet. And it's some people understand it, some people don't. But for me, that's the way I'm processing that
Mm.
big of a loss. Because it's almost like that's a huge loss for, for me personally. I mean, it is for everyone in the house because they all loved him.
Right.
But for me, being my baby,
He was your baby. Yeah.
he was my baby. He was my fur baby. So,
So,
you know, I had to find those words because he was very insistent on we've got to do this because he's a doer, right? He's like, okay, once it's done, I don't
it's
need to think about it anymore,
yeah. Yeah. Well,
right?
yeah, I'm a little bit like your husband. Not that once it's done, but there a final closure, I guess you would call it. My
Yeah,
husband was cremated, and then we buried his ashes. The kids and I had like the day after his celebration of life, we buried his ashes. And I know people who have their husband's ashes still at their house, and I'm like, that would bother me. It would bother me because that's not it. Well, first of all, I couldn't keep him in my house because I was always petrified that something would happen and they'd wind up on the floor and I'd have to sweep them up. And I was like, I can't be doing that. Not sweeping up his ashes. So,
no,
nah. So they had to be contained somewhere. But now they're where they're supposed to be in my mind. But
right.
like I said, other women, they keep their ash. They keep the ashes. They have them. Sometimes they have them in a closet. Sometimes they have them, like you say, on a counter. And they, hey, hun, how's it going? I mean, I talk to my husband all the time. I don't have his ashes there, but I talk to him. So, we all have our differences. Some of us have to, or like your husband, let's bury it, and that step is done. And then there are others that are, no, I'm not ready to
Yes,
go yet. Or even if they are ready to let go, they're like, no, I just like the idea of him being here in this house with me.
being
So,
around. Yeah,
whichever works for you, there's not a right or wrong. That's another thing to remember. There is not a right or wrong.
and
Just because,
everyone's different.
exactly, just because someone says, oh, why are you doing that? That just means that isn't right for them. It doesn't mean that it's not right for you.
Right.
Like I said, I talk to my husband all the time. And there are people that look at me like, you realize he's not there, right? Like, yeah, I know. But
I
he
know.
is there. He's in my
Yes.
heart. He's in my head. And he had this thing. He did not like for me to step backwards. If I was, he didn't like anybody walking backwards. If you don't know what you're going to step on out in the country or in the shop, or it's too easy to get hurt. So it was always turn around and watch where you're going. And I'd be outside and I'd step back to do something and step in a little depression or something. I'd go, I know, don't be going backwards. There was nobody there to hear me say it, but I could just hear him in my head, like, babe, turn around and watch where you're going. So,
Yes. Go forward.
yeah, go
Yes.
forward. And so that's what, that was just one of his things. And if I lose something and then I find it, or I can't find something and I find it, I always say, tell him thank you because him and God helped me find it.
Right.
But other people don't do that. Other people are like, nope, he died, he's gone, I'm not talking to him. Like, okay, that works for
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's what works for them.
yeah, do what works for you. And
Yep.
and when people question what you're doing, you just either say it out loud or at least in your head is this works for me, it wouldn't work for them, and that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think people, one of the things I think it's okay to say is, you know, when that person goes, it's not something that all of a sudden, like you said, you shut off a tap and you're fine, let's go on with life. You just learn, as a person who's had the loss, you just learn how to live with it. And it never really goes away, does it?
It doesn't. It's like when I was 12, I broke my wrist right here, and it wasn't a bad break, except it was the second time I had broke it there.
Mhm.
And most of the time, I mean, I was in a cast, it was fine. Most of the time, I can't even remember that I had a broken wrist. But then there are
Right.
days that I'll go, oh, yeah, that's where I broke my wrist. And grief is the same. You will be going along fine, and then there will be something that will be, oh, darn. Except that grief is a little worse than a broken wrist. And it's like,
Yes.
sometimes it's a gut punch, but for most, I don't want to say you get over it, but we deal with it and we keep going. And then every once
Right.
in a while, we will get the gut punch. Sometimes it's a big gut punch. Sometimes it's like a little tap, but yeah,
Mhm.
they pop back
Yeah.
up.
And what are some things, as someone who's gone through such a big loss, what are some things? Let's start with the things that people said to you that you found helpful. Because I know as a person who, when somebody loses someone or something, you never quite know what to say.
The most important thing that someone did was just come and stay with me. She didn't say anything. She was just there. Uh,
Yes.
her and another friend had said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I don't need anything." And she looked in the refrigerator and she said, "You don't have any food." And she went and
It's
stopped
good.
my refrigerator. It's like, oh, there's food in my and it was all foods that I could eat easily. There was not anything that had to be cooked. It was all junk food. I mean, there was fruits and vegetables, but it was all something that I could just pick up and eat. I didn't have to think about it. And then there was, then she just came over one day and said, "I just thought I would come and spend time with you." And we didn't, I don't think we talked about anything really important, if anything at all, but it was just her presence
Your
there
presence.
was, I think
Mhm.
that's the most important thing, is just to be there. Get a movie and say, hey, let's have a movie night, and
Yeah.
take it over and watch or stream it, or I live out in the country, so I don't stream movies, but some people do. And, or, just whatever, just be there with them. And if it's springtime,
Yes.
sit out in the garden or garden with them. Or that was the biggest thing. And then the other thing was people, because I was so hard on myself, I'd think, oh, I need to be over, I need to be better, I need to be better. And I had really great people, and they would say, take time. It takes time. Don't
Yeah.
don't push yourself. And they were serious. They meant what they were saying. I was a little hard on myself, but that was another thing. It's remind yourself that it's going to take the person grieving time, and then remind the person grieving that it's not a race. There's
No.
It's not a race. They're going to be
No.
fine,
Yeah.
but it's
And
going
to
to.
admit that when you're not okay, it's okay to admit I'm not okay.
Oh, yeah. Another lady had told me that one day. She said, and she wasn't even a close friend, but she came up to me one day. She goes, "Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you. When someone asks you how you're doing, you tell them the truth.
Yeah.
If you're having a cruddy day, you say, I'm having a
I'm
cruddy
having
day."
a bad day. Yeah.
And she said, if you're having a good day, of course, yeah, okay, oh, I'm okay. But she said, don't don't say I'm okay on days when you're having a cruddy day.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, that was very freeing to me. It's like someone
Mhm.
one day when I was a really bad day, and someone said, "What's wrong?" I just looked at them and I remembered her words, and I said, "It's a cruddy day." And they went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Because I think we need to be more of that, right? I think we need to admit when we're not okay.
We do. We need to
Because,
be honest with ourselves and with others. If
yes,
they don't know, they can't read our minds.
no,
So
no.
if we smile and say, "Oh, everything is fine," they're like, "Oh, good. Everything, yeah,
Yeah.
everything is
Mhm.
fine." And
Everything's fine.
then we get mad or frustrated because, like, they didn't even care that I was upset. Well, they didn't know you were
They
upset.
didn't know.
So,
Yes.
yeah, That's
And
very.
yeah, so telling them, saying, I'm not okay
Mm-hmm.
is okay.
Yeah.
It's
Telling yourself,
perfectly okay.
telling yourself, admitting to yourself that you're not okay, and telling someone else that you're not okay. Both of those are perfectly fine and
Perfectly fine.
good things to do. Yeah.
So, what are some things that people said to you that you did not think were very helpful?
He's in a better place.
Mm.
I was like, no, his place is here. This is, and he's in a better place. That one really irritated me. And yeah, I can't think of any others off the top of my head because, yeah, the platitudes that people would say, oh, he died for a reason. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
Um, Everything happens in God's time. Well, that's true. But at that moment, I was mad at God and I didn't want to hear that everything happened in God's time. I mean, I
right,
got over it. I got over being mad at God. But at that moment, and that's another thing. If you're have a deep faith and you are a Christian, it's still okay to be mad at God.
right.
He's a big guy. He can handle our temper tantrums. He's
Yes.
it says in the Bible he will not turn away from us. So it's okay to be mad.
Yeah,
He'll, it's, and I know for probably 2 years I would say, when I die, me and God's gonna have a discussion about the timing of this. We're going to discuss this, and
we
most
are going to have a conversation.
we're going to have a conversation about this. And most people would do what you just did. They would laugh, and it's like, okay. But one lady one day said, "Oh, you can't do that. Can't do what? Have a conversation with God? No, you
Yep.
can't say, you can't question why, your husband dies." Like, I'm pretty sure I can because I just did it.
Yeah,
So I never said it to her again, but I would tell her. And I mean, it gradually it is. It's like, I'm going to have this conversation, and then it's
right,
like, yeah, well, by then I'll probably know the answer, so I probably won't care. And then
right.
eventually I just quit. I quit saying it, and then I quit thinking it. But I mean, it was a process, and
Yeah,
it's okay if that's your process. It works, and if you're mad at God, it's okay. He's still,
it's okay.
when your kid gets hurt and they're mad because you can't make the hurt go away, you don't walk away from your kid. You hold them and you comfort them as best you can, but they're still hurting and
Yes,
they're mad, and they may not be mad at you, but they're just mad at the world. But it doesn't stop your love, and you still
right,
hold them and are there for them. So it's okay. It's okay. God's not going to turn his back on you.
right. He's got broad shoulders. He can take
He has
it.
broad shoulders.
He or she, I don't know.
Yeah, how do you want to look at it? But yeah, you can have a temper tantrum. It's okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay.
Mhm.
And you're allowed, you're angry, you're hurt, you're upset, in some cases you're just so, oh, like, why did this happen to me kind of thing.
Exactly.
And and to that person, right? That
Yeah,
this
yeah. That's
happened
what
to.
when my husband was first diagnosed. He told the kids that I don't want to hear why me, because it is what it is. And he didn't say it, but I've heard since then is, instead of why me, you can always ask why not me. I mean,
Yeah,
why would I be so special that I would not have to deal with this? And
yeah,
he didn't carry it that far, but I think that was probably some of what he thought. And but we're going to do that. We're going to think, why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? You didn't do anything. It just is.
it is what it is,
Mhm.
almost, right? I
It is.
know that anyone, like, for myself, when I was diagnosed with cancer at 39, and at the beginning I didn't know whether I would survive or not. I had no idea. And, you know, it was very hard not to say, what the hell? Like, why? But then you're absolutely right. You have to turn it around. Why not me, right?
Hmm.
It's if it's going to be someone, it's going to be anyone.
Right.
So you just have to take what you've been given and you have to kind of go forward with it.
Go with it. Yeah.
Yep, go forward.
Well, and like you said, you didn't know what was going to happen with your cancer diagnosis. And so whenever anything bad happens, we can always remember at some point. We're not going to remember it right away, but at some point remember, I didn't know what was going to happen this morning when I went to bed last night either.
It's true.
So I didn't know if I was going to wake up. I mean, I assumed I would, but assuming doesn't always mean you do. So,
Yeah,
but you're not going to think that right away. But if you have it like in the back of your head, well, you never know what's going to be coming. Like I said, expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to be coming around the
you
corner.
never know.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And live the way I live. I like to live. Well, COVID's kind of restraining me a little bit, but live like it's your last day. You know what I mean? Which means for me, enjoying what's in front of me, living in the moment, being
Living in the
present
moment,
in the moment.
appreciate the moments that you have. I have a young
Yes,
friend who says, um, he's something about appreciate every second because you never know when the seconds will run out.
right.
And
It's true.
so, yeah, live in the moment and try to do something every day that you enjoy. And
Yes.
look for the joy in life and find something every day that you can celebrate. I mean, it doesn't have to be something you did or you happened to you. You can celebrate the birds singing or celebrate the fact that you have heat when it's 20 degrees outside or yeah, find something that you can celebrate that you can enjoy and appreciate.
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's when you're taking a walk on your favorite path and you just, that moment as you're walking, you're just looking for something
Mm-hmm.
different on your walk to appreciate in that moment, whether it's, a new tree or a flower or a rock. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I sometimes walk out in my pasture and the landscape changes every day. There's some
Yeah,
days the neighbors' cows will be up where I can see them, and other days when I'm walking I took a picture one day of the pond in his pasture. It's like when I looked at it, I was like, what is that? Oh, that's
right.
the pond because the picture didn't do it justice. It had looked so pretty standing there at my fence, and then the
Mhm.
picture was like, not so much. But I didn't usually notice his pond. Maybe there was usually bushes or something around it. I don't know, but I noticed it that day. And
Right,
yeah, so you never know, but you have to be aware. You have to be looking for something.
right.
Be aware of they always tell women, especially, be aware of your surroundings for safety features. But be aware of your surroundings all the time, not just for safety, but for enjoyment.
Yes. Yes. And then you're able to become present in that moment, enjoy
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of what's around you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Nita has a book out called Grief and Beyond. So
Beyond
tell
great.
people Beyond the Grief, sorry, pardon me.
It's okay.
Um, tell people how they can get your book.
It's on Amazon under my name, Nita Beshear, or Beyond the Grief, A Widow's Survival Guide. And you can always come on my page and ask me, and I don't have a way to sell it online yet, but you can leave a comment on my page and I can get together and send you a signed copy if you want. So,
Perfect.
and on my
And you
Facebook,
have a website?
I do. Well, I have a blog right now that's kind of dormant. So your best bet is either to email me at Nita, let's see, Nita at gmail.com.
Okay, let me just
Or
try and
I think that's the right one.
I will put that in the chat afterwards. For some reason, it's not letting me do it at the moment,
Okay. Or
but
and
I'll
then
put that.
there's my Facebook page that you can come to. It's Nita
Okay,
Beshear.
so you're on, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So find Nita on Facebook. I want to thank Nita for this interview this morning. This was such an important topic, so we had to do a take two. so that
Oh,
we could get this fantastic information out there. I hope that it helps you or just one person. Like and share this video. Nita, thank you so much for trying again with me today. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoy this interview. And everybody, have a great day. We'll see you next
everybody have a
time
great
on What
day.
Has Changed Your Life.
Have a great day. Thank you, Tracy. Bye.
You're welcome.